Okay guys, welcome back, and we're here for the first video of our new series with the higher handicappers.
Second video.
It's technically the first
right.
one, because we didn't have a high handicapper. We had a really talented guy, Kid Nonny was a high handicapper. So this is the first time we've had a student in with us who genuinely has a high handicap, and we're delighted to have Sam with us.
Yep, so Sam
Good to see you, bud.
He's a legit 20 handicap.
Yes,
a little bit lower at times, so really good, consistent player at that level, but someone that I think could really benefit from fitting the driver for sure. And we're probably going to look at some other clubs with Sam as well, but it's a perfect example of kind of really good launch conditions that we can improve.
Exactly, exactly. And you guys have been asking for this, and we're listening, and this is exactly where this series is going to go. It's going to be the 15 to 20 handicap range that we're taking throughout the bag. So we're really thrilled to have Sam with us today, and we're going to kind of have a look through his bag and see how the set makeup is, and see what we can do to improve it.
Yes, sir.
So Sam, let's chat a little bit about your driver. I was doing a little blueprinting before we started, and I haven't chatted with you. I wanted to leave it to where the camera was running, but your driver is not the stock Ping driver, is it?
No, it's been modified. The shaft, I believe, is a little shorter.
Yep.
So it has been modified a bit.
Okay, so it's down at 44 inches. So you've taken 1.5 inches off of the length of this one. So just trying to get the control back, obviously. This is going to be really interesting because this is something that people go, I want to hit it a little bit straighter. I've heard that shorter shafts can help me do that, help me hit it more.
I didn't know you had done that.
Right? Yeah. So well, that's why I never mentioned anything, because when I was taking the measurements, I went, "This is great. This is fantastic." So the thing is, so Sam's using a Ping G30.
Yep.
10 degree straight flight technology, the SFT head.
Right.
Stock.
Is that a draw biased head?
It's draw biased head. Little internal weighting in the heel, trying to get the face to rotate a little bit more and fix a little bit of a fade stroke slice.
Gotcha.
Okay. So Sam using the standard shaft, the Ping shaft in there with the stock head. Having cut that shaft down a little bit, no one ever put weight back in the head, did they, Sam?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
Okay.
So the swing weight on this is C3.
Super light.
Super light.
Wow.
Okay. So Ping designed their own shafts to go in their heads.
Yep.
When they designed the head, they go, okay, which shaft profile will complement this design that we're coming up with? And for the last few years, they've really went with this counterbalance and sort of idea with the shaft. So a little bit higher balance point, trying to make the head feel a little bit lighter. Okay. Okay. So Sam has the original counterbalance shaft that came in that. Yep. And it's short.
Right.
So you've got a bit of a double whammy of a short club plus a counterbalance shaft, makes the thing super light. Right. So for me, when I'm looking at that, I'm going, could be trouble.
So that's a consistency issue right off the bat.
Straight away.
And maybe a little ball speed problem.
Ball speed problem, leakage everywhere here. Okay, so I'm
Sammy,
curious.
do we know all this stuff?
No, but
no, I know. That's why you're here. That's why you're here.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So that's the thing. When we make these modifications to even a standard setup, we've got to understand the consequences of the balance of the golf club, making sure that the club is still going to perform to its potential. Making it shorter is one thing, but there's a reason the swing weights system exists, and it's trying to get maximum consistency and all that sort of stuff. So
very cool.
All that being said, Sam, tell us about it. Tell us about the flight. What are you happy with? What are you not happy with?
Well, I've been struggling with the driver.
Okay.
I'm not obviously getting any distance out of it.
Yeah.
And I have this terrible swing out to in.
Yeah. No, you don't.
It's a little out to in.
He's a little out to in. I mean, you're a consistent player, though. But
I am consistent other than the driver.
Yeah. So the driver is definitely, like, Sam and I play a ton of golf together over the years, and I would say that's your biggest weakness. Yeah. If you could gain some yardage and get a little straighter, you probably shave like 5 off your handicap. Yeah. It's mostly off the tee for you.
It is mostly off the tee and my long clubs, I would say, that I have a problem with.
Pretty common.
And it's the worst thing to be playing defensively from the tee box. Because if you don't get that first shot away, the hole is then recovery mode. Trying to get it back in play, then trying to get it somewhere up close, and you're always trying to save sometimes saved bogeys and double bogeys. Never mind, looking for pars.
Well, that's the thing, because when we play a little net action, if you're making pars, you're lighting us all up. Yeah. So that's the thing. So he's kind of you're almost taking a penalty off the tee a lot of the time, and your short game and putting and stuff kind of save you. But if you could get in that fairway to begin with, you'd be deadly.
I mean, so you obviously scratch golf for Sam at 20. You guys have your game, and you're giving Sam, a stroke a hole and 2 on the 2 hardest holes in the course as a 20. Sam puts one in play right down the middle. You're in trouble.
I'm in a lot of trouble, and he finds it hilarious when he does it because he knows he's got us. We've had some good bets over the years. No, but you're absolutely right, because once he's in the fairway, you're definitely a stronger iron player for sure, and he's near the green. Is for your handicap is very competent. So there's a lot of potential here.
Great. No, that's fantastic. So we have to make some driver improvements in order for you to have a better season this year, Sam. That's the key.
Yeah, basically.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. Excellent. Well, let's take a look at it. Let's
see a few shots.
Let's hit a few shots and let's get an idea of what the ball flight is, Sam.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
And I'm guessing, Sam, you wouldn't be unhappy with that. Distance-wise, it's not what you're looking for, but obviously get it in the fairway. Hey, Sam. Bit more solid, that one.
Yeah. But that's a typical shot for you, eh, Sammy? Like a little.
This is exactly it.
Little bit of a peeler to the right.
That's why I get frustrated and I say I'd rather hit an iron off the tee, right?
And you had you have a pretty strong hybrid or something that you use sometimes off the tee.
Yeah, I have a 3 hybrid that I use.
So a lot of the time when we play, you'll tee off with that, and you're not wrong. You kind of get almost the same distance at times because the driver is just not efficient.
Okay, good stuff. Nice. Oh, went the other way, Sam. Better strike that time too.
But you do get that one once in a while, eh?
Of course,
Sammy?
yeah.
Where you kind of get.
I like that actually better.
Yeah, it doesn't mind
going right.
It feels like it's got a bit more potential, that one, doesn't it? But the reality is, it's probably, where are we? There's 62 yards left. It's probably
hazard, no?
It's probably into the bushes.
Taking a drop.
Okay, let's see a couple more.
Yeah.
Again, the very playable but not overly long one that we were discussing. Okay, Sam, so that's 6 that we've got there, and I'm going to eliminate 1 just because it was, just a bit low in the head, not really representative, but the rest are kind of doing the same sort of thing, and we've got a reasonably straight, a reasonably tight pattern, and 1 kind of bit of a pull in there, but really what we're dealing with is less of the one to the left, really. We're dealing with that.
Yes, for sure. I would say if you hit 10 shots, Sam, like 7 or 8 of them you're missing to the right side of the fairway at least.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay, so kind of running through the numbers here, Sam, and seeing what's going on. Actually, we just discussed making a little ball position change, and it's actually worked quite nicely.
Yeah.
Your strike is not nearly as low in the head, and your angle of attack isn't as up as it was. So, I mean, most people talk about hitting up on the ball, and it is generally a good thing.
Yeah.
7.3 is not as much. It might be a little too much.
It's too much. Okay.
The ball is kind of on its way. CG is kind of hit low point on its way up.
Interesting.
So the sweet spot is moving.
So that's an issue for making good contact at that point.
It can be. That's one of the kind of certainly the red flags on that page for me. So.
Okay.
Let's look at the flight here. Very variable spin, as high as 4,400, as low as 1,700. Ball speed wise, 122.8. So, leakage everywhere.
Yeah. So we saw the better strikes were too high in spin for sure.
Yeah.
That was an obvious pattern.
Yeah.
And we could definitely afford to pick up, based on his club head speed, ball speed wise, we could pick up a few yards. We see the efficiency is under 1.4, so we know we could get some more out of that.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've seen from Sam, having kind of watched him warm up today prior to turning the cameras on, and in this, as his ball flight has become a little more erratic, his speed has actually dropped a little bit.
Hesitating a bit.
He's kind of almost playing within himself and kind of trying to dial that back to hit some fairways, and
which is very common.
Very common.
Everyone does that. Yeah,
that's what everyone's natural instinct will lead them to do. So, yeah, I mean, Sam, is that a fair reflection as to what you fight on the golf course?
That's exactly what it is.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so in being fair about the whole thing, you're like everyone else. You're coming out the winter now, and you're shaking off the rust, and this is kind of what you struggle with early part in the season, I would imagine. So let's improve it.
Yep, let's
improve it. Let's
get some new in his hands.
Let's do it. Okay, good stuff. Okay, Sam, so we had a look at your own driver and obviously saw what was going on with it, exactly as you described it to us. Fades that can often be a little bit more than a fade and into slice territory. And the natural reaction is also the left one as well.
Yeah.
So as soon as you hit a bunch to the right, you're going to try to make an adjustment.
Yes.
Sometimes you can overcook it and you hit the pull hook as well. So all shots that are possible from the out to in swing path.
Exactly. And a two-way miss is a tough thing to deal with.
It's tough because then your timing is hurting a little bit and that sort of thing. So, right, so we've got you in, put something together for you here. We've got you in a new Callaway Rogue. We've got you in the Draw series, nice lightweight stable shaft by Fujikura, the Speeder 474, regular flex, 45 inches. We talked a little bit about Sam's driver and maybe being a fraction light and some of the issues that Sam might be having from a consistency standpoint, and I think we saw that.
So I think that's a cool one to key in on because there's so many things that affect the consistency of strike. For Sam, that setup being cut down, because of the way it was balanced, may have actually been detrimental to him hitting it more solid. Whereas now you may give him more length and he may hit it more solid because it's properly balanced.
Yep, I think that's exactly what we're likely to see. So we've grabbed the 9-degree head and we've shut it down a little bit so it's actually got 10.5 degrees of loft on it.
Because of the way the sleeve works?
Yeah, that's it. We've closed the head a little bit more, so we're trying to kind of match up that face-to-path relationship as much as we possibly can. So when you've got the out-to-in swing path and you've got the open club face, you get the glancing blow.
Yes.
So you get two different sort of energy producing factors, path and face.
Right.
You've got them sort of really kind of moving in different directions. We want to line those two factors up in order to create maximum
So you want
impact.
a perpendicular type relationship
as much as we
two.
can. As much as we can. Sammy's got the out to in going on, so we actually want to try and keep the club face between target and path.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Very cool.
All right, Sam, let's hit a few. All right, Sam, so really good start. The Rogue draw was nice for you and very straight. Looking at your most wayward drive, 16.5 yards to the right.
Really brought it in.
No big deal at all.
Yep.
The ball speed, we saw a little bit of a spike in ball speed. We jumped up 3 miles an hour, but we're still not quite optimized.
No.
Like we were just saying there to Sam, we've now found out what we need to do to make his driver go straight.
Yes.
We now have to start to implement the sort of launch characteristics that will make it go far.
Right. So we're early ways we're seeing too much spin.
Too much spin, too much launch, and ultimately that's driven by too much dynamic loft.
Gotcha. So we got to get the dynamic loft down. But already some more ball speed you've got on there.
Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about Sam's makeup being a little bit short, a little bit light, and we thought that a little bit more ball speed would be a possibility.
Right.
We've got more club head speed, Sam, going on, so we've picked up 3 miles an hour club head speed. That inch of length,
that's big,
in the club is going to drive that 3 miles an hour.
And would the swing weight help increase the the club head speed?
Should do.
Should do,
yeah,
okay.
Should do. Yeah.
So it's kind of a momentum thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Gotcha.
it is. That's exactly. So, good. All right, we have to try and bring that ball flight down a little bit, but we're on to a great start, Sam.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a bit better.
Yeah, much better, eh?
Okay, so we were, after the first one, we saw the ball flight a little bit high and spinny. We obviously realised we had to lose a little bit of loft. So we dropped down to the M3, which is, well, I'm really finding it to be quite a low spin head, but good on ball speed as well. And we kind of won on all fronts with that one. We got a better launch angle, better spin. We talked about just the objective was sub 3,000.
Yes. Yeah.
Not trying to make it 2,200. Not trying to make it anything specific. The target was just sub 3,000.
So the big change there, loft.
Biggest thing was loft.
A degree and a half of loft less than what we were using.
So people will kind of be looking at this going, Sam is a 20 handicapper. He should use 10.5 surely.
Yeah.
A draw head of some kind.
Yeah.
That to Sam is a nightmare. And here's why. Sam adds a ton of loft.
Yes.
If we give Sam a high lofted driver, he's going to just add more loft.
Right, and lose more distance, put more spin on it.
Exactly. So this is an 8.5 head that Sam is kind of, we've got it closed playing 9.5.
Right.
But we're already seeing the dynamic loft come down 9 degrees.
It's a lot, yeah.
Versus the other drivers. So we can see the strike points are variable and that sort of thing.
Came up a bit though. We saw like the strike point came up on the head quite a bit with this driver.
It really did.
And how was the shaft influencing? I guess it would obviously helping him take a little bit of loft off it. So what was the story with that shaft?
Nice and lightweight. The speeder profile, the Evolution 1 is quite tip stiff, but it really in 45 grams, nothing's tip stiff.
Yes, gotcha.
It's designed to be that way. But I've actually moved Sam into a different driver shaft.
Okay.
Moved him into an Acra CS1, which is quite a stable tip, but a little bit counterbalanced shaft.
Counterbalance.
So again, trying to kind of flight that down a little bit, but we've really got a nice dispersion going on here.
Yeah.
Our carry distance is up 24 yards from where we started. Trending
in the right direction.
We are. We've got a significant improvement, nearly 30 yards in total by increasing the ball speed and bringing the launch and spin all the way down. So it's quite a different scenario. Even if we just look at those two, the original orange flight versus the new sort of red one. So it's quite a lot better. Sam, how did that last driver feel? Did it feel okay?
Yeah.
Feel quite solid?
Yep, it sure did.
I mean, we've got a couple of things going on. We've got the head a little closed, Sam. We've got the weight, in the heel of the driver. So trying to encourage the rotation of that head. Okay, let's see a few with this one. Hopefully this is pretty darn close now. Okay, Sam, that was big changes there. Big changes. So I think that last combination, the tailor-made M3 with the weight in the heel with the CS1 shaft by Acra was the game changer
so much
that we
better.
were looking for.
And took a ton of spin off.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like much easier to square the face with that combination.
How did it feel in your hands?
It felt really good.
Yeah. Start to feel a much more square strike and much less of that glancing blow that we were discussing earlier.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Well, let's run through the numbers a little bit here, Matty, and see what we've got sort of going on. Let's do the comparison because it's quite stark. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
It's a game changer really for Sam in terms of the distance that he is now capable of hitting it.
Yeah. So we made some kind of interesting adjustments with the club.
Yeah.
So we've got him in a swing weight that makes sense now.
A little heavier swing weight.
So that alone, I mean, that might have been enough, for a lot of people to get better performance out of the club. But we also took a bunch of spin off. You kind of got that launch angle and a better window there.
Yeah.
And a lot was learned just, for Sam's swing. He kind of became aware of the path of his swing and how open the club face was. So part of this fitting experience for Sam was, okay, now I'm more aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think it allowed him to make just some better golf swings and deliver with a little more speed and not be as, I guess, over the top and open with the face.
The thing with club fitting, Matt, is, there's a lot of people who will try and deliver static sort of ideas as to what the player needs from a club fitting standpoint.
Yes.
So they'll do wrist to floor, they'll do all these sorts of static measurements and come up with all these theories. You've got to see it in motion, right? So we saw Sam when he first started swinging the club. Club path was averaging 11.3 out to in. Yep. The club face was on average, it was about 7 degrees. Let's see what it was relative to path. It was 4 degrees open to the path. Okay, lots of kind of low strikes. Just not a great scenario for Sam to gain some distance. Lots of dynamic loft. We kind of had a discussion with Sam there just about how he can go about swinging a little bit more neutral. Yep. And lose some of that loft. So
exactly.
The club path being as out to in as it was kind of causing Sam to hang on to the club face and really kind of add too much loft and launch and spin and lose ball speed.
Yep.
That last swing we just made with Sam right there, if we actually pull that last one up, like that type of shape to Sam is just an
totally
absolute
different
game changer.
Yeah.
To see that nice kind of penetrating flight, arcing over with way less spin.
And some draw spin.
Some draw, absolutely. That's massive. So we launched that last one at 2400. Look at the ball speed.
I know, crazy.
140. Now the best ball speed with the ping was 124.
Yeah.
16 mile an hour change.
I know.
One thing we said to Sam on that last one, he was hitting it so good. We said, listen, just free it up.
And I think that's part of the story. I mean, obviously people will look and say the swing with the first club versus the swing with the last club.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were very different, but I think it's important to say the club was a factor because it allowed him to swing a little more freely. The club was coming in without him doing anything. It was already more square. Yeah. So I think, Sammy, you can probably speak to that. It freed you up a bit.
100%.
Yeah, so you were making better swings just with your mental state with the club. So it was a pretty interesting session to see what could be done on both fronts, with the club and actually with Sam's motion.
When you start to gain the confidence that Sam was, and we've talked about this, I think we talked about it maybe in Lindsay's video about her sort of speed and how it increased. I mean, look at that, 94.6, 92.7, 92.8. Then we said to Sam, you're swinging great, free up and let's hit one. 98 miles an hour. Yeah. We go back to the ping. The ping was averaging 10 miles an hour less, so it's not even really apples for apples, but there's a reason why Sam was able to swing that much quicker. Yep. The weight of the club, the length of the club, and it's not long, it's just standard length. Yep. It's 45 inches. We've not made him an over-length driver. Yeah. But we've made him a balanced driver that really kind of complements, what we're trying to get for Sam, which is, a lower flight with less launch and spin. Yeah,
and the great part, I guess, with an adjustable head is if he, hopefully we'll start to see that left pattern being a little more common and less slices. Obviously, you can just adjust the club face angle back to square versus a little bit closed, and the weight biasing, move that back to the center.
Neutralize that a little bit, and that's part of the concierge service that comes here at TXG specifically, is that we kind of work with our clients throughout the season and adjust the equipment to suit.
That's what a lot of the questions have been. People concerned that this is not an extreme setup, but they're concerned if they really go one way with the fitting, am I kind of in trouble later in the year when I work on my swing. And that's something people have to be aware of. I mean, you may need to readjust.
Yeah.
And you may go to a club fitting place that maybe you will have to come back and pay for an adjustment or pay for that advice. That kind of is what it is, but you can't just get it, you know, one way and assume it's perfect forever, because your swing is going to change.
Exactly.
So you have to reassess.
And I want to just, you know, stress that you know, because some people might get the wrong impression, we don't charge for that here.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
So we you know, that's part of like the fitting experience comes with a kind of relationship. You know, for the length of time that you want to play that driver that we've told you is the right one, we're your kind of equipment experts that will help you get the most out of that driver for as long as you want to play it.
And hopefully the industry starts to kind of trend that way.
We hope so, yeah.
Because that's the future of it, obviously. The only reason I brought it up is because I think people will say, well, my fitter doesn't do that, or my store doesn't do that. So hopefully that will kind of become more of a trend. I know you guys do it, but it's so important, because you can't be expected to be exactly the same every season, or even beginning to end.
It's part of why we carry, you know, the sort of range of shafts and heads that we do that are at times a bit more expensive. Yeah. It's because we have so much confidence that you guys will hit that well. Like Sam, you know, right now I'm saying to you, like, please, you know, invest in that driver, because it's a game changer for you. Like the discussions we were having about the confidence and you know, you felt like the driver really needed to be the catalyst to the improvement in your game. Like I'd be dipping into my own pocket to buy you that driver after performance like that. So like that was world class improvement, and that amount of improvement is really going to change your game. Yeah,
and I think it's important to note that that was an insane amount of difference, but it's not like it can't happen.
It can happen.
Of course it can.
That's uncommon. I mean, that, you know, we always kind of talk about, you know, if we sneak 5 to 10% improvement, we're in great shape.
Of course.
I mean, Sam's stuck on
blowing that out of the water.
He's stuck another 50 yards on an average there.
But this is badly fit driver to really, really well fit driver, plus a little bit of a swing dynamic awareness change.
That's the experience.
That's an actual experience of getting fit. That's the way it should be to get fit.
That's exactly what it is.
Very cool.
Good, Sam.
Excellent. Can I take
Happy camper?
He's got to be excited.
Yeah. No, that's what we want. That's what we're all about. That's why we do what we do. We try and help people enjoy the game more, get better, achieve their goals, whatever they may be. The customer will always set those goals for us.
For sure.
And you know, we hope to hit it out of the park. So.
And I'm not giving you a shot a hole this season if you buy that driver.
You're in trouble, Matthew. You're definitely.
I'll give you half of those maybe.
Yeah. Guys, I hope this gave you a good little insight into some of the things that we can do. The higher handicap scenario is one that we're gonna really live here for a little while, I think, and talk about these sort of scenarios and how we can make changes like this throughout the bag. This is just a driver.
Just the beginning,
when we start to look at other parts of the game, you know, for Sam or you guys, whoever it may be, we hope to make, you know, measurable improvement throughout the bag. Ultimately lower the handicap, ultimately get you shooting lower scores.
That's what it's all about.
And enjoying the game a little bit more.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.